Yo, Shortbox Nation, this is Botter, and I'm here to tell you right now that con season starts early this year with the return of Northeast Florida's premier anime, comic book, and sci-fi event, Collective Con. That's right, Northeast Florida's largest pop culture convention returns for its 10th year on March 8th through the 10th at the Prime Osborne Center in Jacksonville, Florida. 10 years of Collective Con, they're pulling all the stops out to make sure this is a can't-miss event. And the guest list they got going, don't even get me started on the guest list. I mean, they've got A-list celebrity guests and voice actors from some of your favorite movies, anime, and video games like Elijah Wood and Sean Ashton, Ray Park, Trisha Helfer, Ross Marquand, Max Middleman, and Bo-Katan herself will be there, Katie Sackhoff. Tell me what other convention is giving you the opportunity to meet Frodo and Sam from Lord of the Rings, Darth Maul, and One Punch Man all under the same roof. Only at Collective Con. And if you're looking to get some of your favorite comics signed, or if you want to get an original sketch from some of the best comic artists in the world, well, you're in luck, because there'll be plenty of comic and creator guests there, like DC comic artist extraordinaire Clay Mann, Harvey Award-nominated illustrator John Taylor Christopher, Marvel and DC cover artist Chris Stevens, and acclaimed Star Wars author Timothy Zahn. They'll all be at Collective Con this year. And if you're looking to bring the family, or if you want to make a weekend out of it, you're in luck, because there'll be so much going on at Collective Con that weekend in the form of vendors, fan panels, video game tournaments, cosplay contests, after parties, and a bunch of fan events. You can purchase single and 3-day weekend passes now using the link in this episode's show notes, or by going to collectivecon.com to book your tickets and hotel. Buy your tickets now, and I'll see you at Collective Con, March 8th through the 10th. Now let's start the show.
Ladies and gentlemen, I present to you Shortbox Season 6. Yeah.
Well, no, it's part of the question I asked, because like our neighbor moved from California to here to Orange Park. And he's from Peru originally, and I'm like, how do you get to Orange Park from?
That's what I'm saying. Like, right, like Orange Park, Jacksonville. It's like, all right. It's always interesting that people end up here. So much interesting, in fact, that it is a plot point in the second season of Ash versus Evil Dead, which cracks me up because it opens up in Jacksonville, and you're like, if you've never seen the show, you would ask, like, how would Ash from Army of Darkness end up in Jacksonville? Like, it's an interesting story. I always like asking.
I kind of am curious, like, this Peru dude, like, was Orange Park just always a hot topic in Peru?
He just, he was looking online at houses, and I guess the house in the area came up, and he didn't really care where in Florida, so it was just,
he was like,
price is good.
Greg, you should have lied and just said, well,
I know, right?
Egos is located in Orange Park, Florida.
As long as I can remember, I've always wanted to go to Alter Egos. ¿Cómo se dice? Cuando yo estaba un little boy, I said, comic books are for me. And I decided, alter egos, yo quiero ir.
Don't worry, Greg. It's not racist because Cesar.
No, it's still fucking racist as shit. It is 100% horrifyingly racist.
Greg's sitting there like, I'm not trying to be canceled today, guys.
That is spot on, right?
Greg's like, you ain't getting my ass.
Oh shit!
I'm like, was he there this morning when we were talking? What?
Cesar is the dude from Peru.
That was me, guys. Spoilers.
Yo, how about we go ahead and get started? Shortbox Nation, welcome to episode 291. I'm your host, Botter Milligan. I'm joined by my co-host, Cesar Cordero.
Felicidades.
And we've got two special guests that we'll get around to introducing here in a few once we get to our new guest tradition. But in the meantime, I want to go and say that this episode is sponsored by Gotham City Limit, Jacksonville's premier location for comic books, collectibles, toys, and more, located on Southside Boulevard. You'll hear more about them later on in this episode. If this is your first time tuning in, might I recommend giving our previous episode a listen. That was episode 290, floppies and hardcovers. Brian Brumley returns to talk more about floppies.
Sounds so gross, so lewd.
Brian returned more to talk about being a new comic book collector. It also allowed me and Cesar to step into the shoes of a new fan and share our tips for navigating the expansive world of comics.
Also sounds lewd.
Yeah, true. The episode is on your favorite podcast app now, and while you're at it, consider becoming a Shortbox patron. Not only does it help us keep the lights on here at Shortbox Studios, but you'll get access to exclusive bonus episodes.
Give us your money.
Commercial-free episodes.
What?
I thought you were going to say good.
No, go ahead and finish.
You'll get access to
fucking money.
Commercial-free episodes. We got merch and exclusive goodies and invites to secret live shows.
Ooh,
so check
that
out
sounds interesting.
Yeah, check out our membership. I don't know why I said that. Like, yeah. But check out our membership site, patreon.com/theshortbox for more details. And speaking of patrons, I want to go ahead and give a round of applause, an honorable shout out to our newest Shortbox patrons, including newcomer Derek Lee, aka Level 5 Reject. Longtime supporter Tom Solo is back among the patron rank.
Yeah.
And the friendly neighborhood nerd Robert Bobo Griffin is now a true believer.
Bobo.
Welcome and thank you, gentlemen, for your support.
You can't mess with that guy,
contribution.
Man.
Hell no, man.
He's a freaking wrestler.
Yo, they're the Shortbox Elite, as Drew would say.
It's true. It's true.
The Shortbox Elite. Welcome, new patrons. With that out of the way, let's go ahead and turn our attention to our two guests here in the Shortbox studios with us. Gentlemen, so Greg, I don't know if this tradition would apply to you because you've been on the show numerous times.
It's like our fourth or fifth time. I'm a patron too.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Yo, he got the right. You want me? Would you like a White Claw? They're free. To patrons when they join.
Wait, what? Is that a thing? Are you advocating alcohol use? The Shortbox podcast is not advocating. Overhead. So much of it.
Well,
drink that shit, man.
So wow. Okay, Greg. Damn, I'm on the house. Damn, jeez.
No. Definitely support this podcast though through Patreon. It's awesome.
Damn it, we didn't even ask him for a commercial. Sweet.
Well, I mean, I asked him before he got.
Oh, word.
Greg actually made a good point. Was that Greg has been on the show in like the earlier years.
Can I ask you a question then? Do you know off the top of your head what number or episode number?
I really should have been prepared for that.
I'm just asking.
No, I don't, but I can look it up.
Your last bonus episode, I listened to that the other night, and you knew that guy's first appearance.
Wow, Greg, put me on the fucking spot.
This is like some Godfather betrayal. Like he was looking at you like,
Shit.
You're my brother, and I knew it was you.
You're right, Greg. I will rectify that. But Greg has been on the show plenty of times. But Greg, if you want to do us a quick
give us a little introduction, man.
I'm Greg.
Solid work.
Yeah,
nice.
thank you.
Nice. I like where we're going. Get a little closer on the mic, Greg.
I'm a Patreon. Yeah. I love comics.
Who are you, man?
Greg, what? Greg's too humble for this.
He is like he's like, guys, I'm just a human. We're all trying to be human here. You know what I mean?
I'm the Phil Jackson of comics.
Okay, all right.
You ain't gonna give your man props or anything.
All right.
All right. Let me interject here because Greg's a little too humble. I knew that he was going to be very soft spoken about it. Greg, for as long as I've known him, has worn a hat for every comic book kind of position outside of the creative side. He has run a comic shop. He's worked at a comic shop, moved into co-owning a comic shop, has thrown numerous comic book shows and conventions here in Jax. Before it was like the thing to do. He now, works at manages Art Germs Collectibles. So, I mean, Greg, you've done a lot more than...
He's a bit of a Renaissance man.
Yeah.
I love comics.
This guy, man. Jesus Christ, this guy. Unbelievable.
I'm going to turn my attention.
You know what? This is like Ruby Rod talking to Bruce Willis in fucking Fifth Element. Like, we're like, so tell me, B-Man. Yeah.
I'm watching that tonight now.
Do it.
It's been a minute.
It's such a good film.
I want to turn my attention to your partner here, Corey, who I haven't met prior to this. Corey, how about you give us an introduction, man? Who are you? What do you do?
Yeah.
That is quite a long list. Corey Palmel. The easiest way to put it is I co-founded the Collectors Corner Facebook group.
Okay.
Some 40 years ago with a bunch of friends. That kind of transitioned into being a CBCS facilitator, if that's your thing.
What is CBS?
CBCS is a grading service now owned by Beckett.
Okay.
So it's CGC's biggest competition. But still very far off as far as being equal. That wasn't a slight against CBCS. It's just
everyone's got a journey.
The gold
you gotta
standard.
Start somewhere.
So that, and then that kind of led into me meeting Art Germ, being friends with him, and us talking for a little while, and him discussing wanting me to help him run Art Germ Collectibles. So we, became business partners shortly after. And Greg and I have been doing that ever since. And as soon as COVID hit, we decided, well, shit, man, we miss conventions. We want to do something. Let's start our own. So we did. And it started off just something fun to do to pass the time. And it is just blossomed into something huge that I really never expected.
And that's definitely good.
I was going to say, who actually came up with the idea?
It was all Corey.
Okay, so you talked to this guy.
Humble Phil Jackson.
So here's the thing.
Yeah, how did this happen?
The way our partnership works, I am full of ideas. I have hundreds of thousands of ideas.
Got it.
I throw them all against the wall, and he helps pick me off the good ones that he thinks are viable.
Okay.
And so that's what makes us a really good team. You know, he uses logic and ration in a lot of the stuff that we do, and I just use pure excitement.
Okay, you got a Lucas Spielberg relationship there.
He gives me too much credit. I just say no to everything, and then if he brings it the second time, I'm like, he's passionate about it.
Without changing the pitch, you're like, I like that.
Yeah.
I like that.
Well, to be honest, they sound like me and you, but except for the logic and ration,
logic.
it's nowhere in there.
It's two idea guys.
Like I said, you know, he's very calm all the time. He's either super calm or super not.
Sure.
And you very rarely see him super not. So he approaches everything to where he at least gives the appearance that he's like put deep thought into everything. And yes, that is a wonderful idea. So
I go Dennis Rodman twice a year.
Okay. All right. Only twice a year, though.
Only twice.
Yeah. And I mean, that's why you guys are on the show today to talk about Conline happening July 9th through the 12th. This is the second show, right?
This is actually the third show.
Okay.
The first one was kind of a beta run. We just threw it together in a week.
And I think that's the one I was on. Okay.
Back in March.
Yep.
And we put that together really quick within about a week. And I mean, pretty good viewership. And then we planned the next one for a month later to give us a little bit more time, but realizing that still wasn't enough time to get everything running that we wanted to do.
Yeah.
And still trying to figure out how to make it profitable, you know, and wanting to keep it free for everybody.
Sure.
Because the biggest thing in all of this, you know, Greg and I are in comics. We love comics because comics, not because it's a very profitable business, because it's not.
Right.
It's only profitable for the artists and writers.
Sure.
It's not that profitable for retailers. Unless you're doing mass amount of volume or you hitch your wagon to somebody like Art Journal.
It's refreshing to hear you be that honest about the industry.
Yeah, it's just
100% true.
Yeah.
So you have to have passion to be in this industry. If you don't have passion, you're in this to make money. You're in it for the wrong reasons.
Yep.
Because it's not a lucrative thing.
I tell everyone the same thing when it comes to like podcasting too. Yeah. It's like, no, there ain't no money in this. I'm still trying to recoup. I wanted to take a step back because I think we threw the name Comic Conline without really explaining what it is. Is it safe to say it is an online comic convention? Can we break it down as simple as that? Or do you want to add
it's a virtual convention. So it's basically online. It's panels. Like all the stuff that you get from the show, you know, everybody wants to go and they want to stand in front of the table. You know what I mean? See the creator sign your book, have a conversation with them briefly, or, you know, buy a print or something like that. All the stuff that you're lacking right now, we figured out a way to offer it virtually so that, you know, you never have to leave the comfort of your home. Or the discomfort of your home, however you feel about your home. And just kind of get the panels where you can ask the questions. They can explain, you know, their art journey, things that they've done, things that they've experienced, you know, some fun con stories, whatever it may be. And keeping it free. That was the biggest point for us. It had to be free because, I mean, really, who's going to pay $1? Who's going to pay $5? Who's going to pay $10 just to watch a video? Some people will, but not for brand new guys. Like we are brand new coming into this. Yes, we're really, you know, affiliated with certain people, but that doesn't necessarily mean that we're going to be able to, you know, take all your money. And we want to help the creators get money because they're missing a ton of money. Like comics themselves pay okay,
sure,
but they don't pay like the conventions pay. You get there and they, you know, the signatures and the commissions and
the merchandise,
all that stuff. You know, if they want to go live, they can, but a lot of creators don't have that, you know, the setup or the desire to set up and go live. So we offer them just a place to set up and sell.
Yeah.
Get your money. We don't want any of your money. We want you to get all the money. And we'll figure out ways through sponsorship, through other things that we can generate a little bit of income to keep everything running.
Yo, this is Botter. Sorry for interrupting this episode, but I'll keep it brief. I wanted to let you know about a massive sale we have going on over at the Shortbox store on all of our merchandise and apparel. That's theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com. You can now save 20% off your entire order using the discount code YOO, YOO. So if you've been waiting for the right time to finally buy that Gauntlet snapback, or if you ever wanted to buy any of the shirts you see me wear on the podcast, well, now's your chance to get them for a steal. We still have a few sizes left of everything, but they won't last long, and once they're gone, they are gone. And then I mentioned that all of our apparel is screen printed on high quality material. None of that heat transfer or direct to garment stuff. Our shirts are some of the most comfortable ones you'll ever wear, and the hats look even better in person. So wear your support for the Shortbox Nation proudly, knowing that you're going to look damn good doing it. Get to theshortboxstore.bigcartel.com as soon as you can, and don't forget to use that discount code YOO, Y-O-O, to save 20% off your entire order. All of this information can be found in this episode's show notes if you want to get there faster. Thanks for not pressing fast forward. Now back to the show.
Damn, that's like some really humble, like objective and reasoning. Like I respect that. And I'm looking at the flyer that you guys have going around right now, and I mean, you got, as far as like artist, tiers and just the list is damn impressive. I mean, I'm looking at Art Germ, Amanda Connor, Jimmy Palmiotti, Shane Davis, Jay Lee, Patrick Leeson, Ed McGinnis, Doug Mankey.
Oh, Doug Mankey, yeah.
And the one that just stands out to me because it just, come on, I mean, like as a comic head, JR, John Romita Jr. is among this panel. And it didn't really dawn on me that this is strictly, for the most part, just comic book artists on this spotlight. Was there a particular reason why?
It's just they tend to be a little more animated. I try to get more writers. Like we had Rich Rivera.
Okay.
Stabby Bunny fame. A lot of stuff with Scout. We had him on the last one. And this one we have Brian Polito.
Awesome. Awesome.
I've been friends with Brian for a long time. He's been a supporter. The Collector's Corner, from when we started out, he completely funded a giveaway for us. And so I
love watching all his Coffin Comics videos every time he comes on. I'm like, dude, you're like the best pitch man ever.
He
is,
ain't he?
He's so good.
He's the Billy Mays of comics. I'm telling you, good for real.
All right. So real quick, I don't mean to off track you guys, but I met Brian Polito at Heroes Con one year, and I can't remember where I was. I was way far away from where he was at, like where his table was. And he saw me looking at something. He's like, hey, you like that, huh? I was like, oh, yeah. I kind of like saw my peripheral vision. I didn't really see who was talking to me, guy who looks like actual Evil Ernie, like I was like, yeah. And he's like, oh, I got something that's kind of good like that, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, oh, you do? Oh, my God. It's fucking Brian Polito. Oh, my God. And he's just like, hey, come on, I'll show you something. And I was like, I will go with you. Yes, master. So like, I was like, holy shit, this guy walked 5 miles just to fucking like poach business away from some other place. But like, dude knew what he was doing. And of course, the product was great. I still like Brian Polito, man.
That's one of the best things about him. I mean, number one, Evil Ernie and Lady Death, they were modeled after him and Francisca.
Right.
So it's really easy to see the passion and understand why he has such a passion for the characters.
Yep.
Unfortunately, he doesn't have the rights to Evil Ernie anymore. Those lie with Dynamite, and we won't go into that.
Nope.
But Brian is, I mean, he's great to talk to, great to do business with. He's one of the best guys in comics, period. He understands how to reach the fans, how to give fans exactly what they want. He's a pioneer in the way of Kickstarter.
Yes.
There were Kickstarters before him, but nobody has done what he has done with it.
Right.
He's built his entire fan base back up through Kickstarter. After, going bankrupt in like 2004, he just decided one day, I'm going to do comics again. I want my properties back. I'm going to keep going. And that dude has been off to the races, just blazing trails. He's so ahead of the curve with everything he does. And it's admirable. For someone like me, I don't so much pay attention to the comics aspect of it. I look more at the promotional aspect.
Yeah,
and it's something
selling what you believe in.
Yeah.
It's funny. And to your point earlier, that you have particularly people who are involved in comics in that regard usually tend to be a little more passionate about what they're doing, because they're, in a sense, not only just selling what they've done, but themselves as well. Every comic book artist has a style, and they're selling their style essentially. It's like, here's the flair that I add, and you can't be sort of I like to, like, Jimmy Palmiotti is not like that.
Hi
at
guys,
all.
check out my book.
Right. He's the opposite of that. Yeah. So
did you guys have like existing relationships with a majority of the talent, or was it something that you guys had to put a lot of time in?
With most of them, I know most of them through going to conventions, working the conventions.
Sure.
A lot of the guys through Scott's Collectibles, like Lucho Prelow, Carla Cohen, Alan Qua. And unfortunately, Kel New couldn't do this one, but he'll be. Go ahead and give you a guest announcement for the upcoming the next one. Kel New will be a part of that one.
Oh, cool. So you guys already have the second.
Dude, you have to keep going with this, or people are going to come up, catch up, and pass you. This is something that we're trying to set the benchmark on how to do things. I don't know if we're setting it or not, but we're trying. There are plenty of other conventions, like the virtual conventions, but nobody that focuses on comics. Everybody's trying to get the voice actors.
If I may pass a compliment, I will say, I think without a doubt, for me, I think you guys were the first ones doing this, the virtual Comic Con. And I was like, man, this is cool that a local presence is doing it. Because now I'm seeing, like San Diego Comic Con announced, hey, we're doing virtual. DC's doing their big fandom. But I will say, you guys were the first one that I saw do this. And not even a month into the lockdown and stuff. So I definitely commend you guys on having that, jumping on that opportunity.
Surprised Greg isn't like, I actually said yes. Let's not forget I said yes to this one.
Well, the only way to really survive in this business, this is something that Greg and I do on Wednesdays. We have a show on the Creators Corner Facebook page it's called the Retailer Roundtable. We take some of the best retailers in the industry.
Tuesdays now.
I apologize. We had to move it because, got my kids schedule with the exes.
Tuesdays are nice too.
Who said Tuesdays just now? Is that God?
Close.
No, Phil Jackson.
Phil Jackson of comics.
So, we do it with Jesse James from Jesse James Comics in Arizona. JJ's Comics and Art, who actually reps Doug Minke. And Rich Capobianco, who works with Midtown Comics. So we have three other guys from the top tiers of the respective areas of the comic industry come in, and we talk about selling comics and how to pivot and how to do certain things. And that's initially that's what we did. We found a way to pivot, found a way to try to be ahead of the curve.
Hey, Shortbox Nation. Sorry for the interruption. Just a few quick words from our sponsor, and we'll get right back to the show. Yeah, so this is where I pick up my comics.
Excuse me, might I remind you the rules here at No Touch Collectibles? No loitering, no friendship, no touching the merchandise without gloves, and no free bags and boards.
Yeah, man, I know. This shop sucks. I don't even know why I shop here.
Well, we could go to Jacksonville's premier location for comic books, collectibles, toys, and more.
You okay?
At Gotham City Limits, you get 10% off comic books in your pull. 20% off trade paperbacks and hardcovers, 10% off high-end figures and statues, and free bags and boards. It's practically criminal.
And that's why Gotham City Limits is a place of the people.
How many times have you watched the Batman trilogy?
I'm ashamed to say.
Well, I mean, they're not bad.
One time for every time the Joker has taken the city hostage.
Are you done with that?
Yeah, I'm done.
Well, let's just go take our business there.
Gotham City Limit. It's the comic book shop Jax deserves, but not the one.
All right. I get it. It's a great shop. Let's just go. Oh, look, I wanted to jump in and say,
I was like,
I'm listening like, all right, so.
Like a little kid, just like.
Yeah. So, and you guys do all of this for free. And because I ask because it sounds like valuable consultation and information that if it was
for you, dude.
If it was
you were like, so you guys do all of this for free. Clearly a model the Shortbox could not run on. Could definitely not run on.
No, I'm saying it's admirable. It shows that you guys are in it to grow the industry and promote it. So it's impressive that, yeah, you guys could easily probably make this a hustle, a consultation. I mean, how many comic shops do we know that are stuck in a very archaic business model that don't know what to do with the internet and things like that?
Now, Jesse does consultations outside of that a little bit. Like I know shops call him, and then we've offered shops to reach out to us too, and personally outside of the videos, and be like, hey, if you need help with anything, just ask us, and we'll always give you the advice because more shops equal more comics, more fans, more readers, all that stuff. So, I mean, I don't see a reason in charging for advice, that kind of advice, because
you're a good dude.
It's beneficial to all of us.
Right.
Point.
What's been the biggest or the most recurring, I guess, have you guys seen a theme or a common, problem or hurdle that these shops and these retailers are facing amidst everything going on?
Most shops are stuck in the traditional comic shop model to where they might do some eBay sales, but their online presence isn't that big. They're just really dependent on their weekly
dude,
customers.
It's almost as if comic books are a reflection of like the fans, like introverted shoegazing individuals who try to get lost in something. It's like, I'm not an extrovert. It's like, it extends that way. It's like, well, the internet exists, guys. I guess I'll go.
Which is crazy to think none of them have leveraged eBay like that.
Are people?
Considering like it's such a big market for resale,
Well, it looks like they've bypassed eBay. So there's like the comic book shopping network on Facebook, which was it 24 hours a day?
Yeah, it's 24 hours a day. It's Jesse James and Jen King, who owns Space Cadets in Texas. They started that 2 years ago, and that thing is just taken off for them.
Once an hour, a different retailer comes on. They do a live video, live sales of their back stock, and no fees from eBay at that point. Buyers get to see them live, and then you also get to comment on the video, interact with the customer or the seller. And
that's great, because I honestly, in this climate, especially with all the recent changes eBay and PayPal keep making, I'm slowly trying to get away from selling any shit on eBay. So it's cool that they found their own channel to do that. Going back to my question about some of the talent that you guys have on, did you guys find it easier to connect with reps, which I'm seeing more and more of, like artists connecting with reps and having like, a business kind of presence or someone handling that side? Did you guys find it easier to make those connections, considering that you guys are representing Art Germ?
Well, a lot of them I was friends with prior to, like John Jesperson, who reps Doug Mankey, and Daniel Scott, who reps the other guys. John has relationships with Pat Gleason and David Barron, who is Doug Mankey's colorist, and I mean, JJ John Jesperson is involved in Conline. He's he helps with a lot of the promotion and lining up guests. I mean, it's not just Greg and I that makes this wheel turn. It's just we just kind of happen to be the faces of this thing. So
it's good looking faces. I mean, Greg alone. I mean, come on, man. That's a movie star right there.
That's a sharp looking dude.
I don't know. This is I keep on getting put in these situations.
This has now become the try to make Greg feel weird podcast.
I like it. I like it. It's a good vibe. So what are some of the outside well, it doesn't sound like, securing the guests was really a big hurdle for you guys. What are some of the challenges that you guys have faced in throwing a comic convention virtually?
Right now, it's making enough time for all the people that want to be a part of it.
Wow.
Like we've actually had to turn some people down or schedule them for the next show. And
that's a good problem.
It is, but like we started out, it was just 1 day. And the second one was 2 days. And then this one was going to be 3 days, but then we had to bump it to 4 days, 4 10-hour days.
A 3 or 4 day virtual convention. Yeah. That's, I mean, kudos to you guys, man.
I mean, it's a bear.
Impressive.
Like you feel it. Like it's like going to a con for us. You feel it for the next couple of days.
Yep.
But the best part is you're not feeling con crud like you would to go into a physical convention.
Well, I think the ultimate con crud is the fact.
No, but you definitely get the hangover from
True,
it, man. It is like you have to take a day or two to decompress afterwards because you are just on. Like when I go to a convention, Greg will tell you, like, me right now is one thing, but when I hit a convention and I hit the energy, I like it hits the switch, man, and I am on all the time. Mm-hmm. And this kind of gives me that, to a degree, and that's draining, spiritually and emotionally to be on that all the time. So you have to take those days to decompress afterwards.
Yeah, and how was the feedback? Because I remember logging into the beta one, and I think that one it seemed to be, or at least the portion I was on, more focused on the art auctions, which I thought was pretty cool to do a live art auction. You got to see the artist drawing said sketches and taking like, oh, hey, I'll do that.
Yeah, that's kind of what the whole premise is about. We don't have books really to sell. We let the artists come on, sell their commissions. We take the grading. That's what we are partnered with Alpha Omega out of the Tampa area. Brian Weeks and Stephen Davis, great guys, and we have them do all the facilitation for it. And so anything that the creators draw or anything like that, they'll get graded and send to those guys, and we'll take care of that for them. But, there's going to be, and I'll kind of give you a hint, there's going to be a creator doing an exclusive for our show. So we're kind of, at that point, me and Greg were just kind of looking at each other. It's like, holy shit, we're kind of legit. Somebody made a, Conline convention exclusive.
Yeah.
Could it be a picture of Vampirella and a werewolf mixed together? I like them hairy.
You're like, no.
I mean, if you want to get a commission from somebody.
Look, you were thinking about it. You were like, Jesus, how could I spin this right now? That's how you know he's the idea man. He's the idea man. He's sitting there. It's like, I got you, little boy.
And how have the the attendee interactions and things like that? I imagine it all kind of takes place in the chat box.
Yeah, for the most part. We've been experimenting a lot with different streaming services. We started with Be Live. It was the first one we used, which was going well for the things that we were doing. But as we progressed, we kind of realized that we want to, simulcast to both Facebook and to YouTube and to Twitch, which we have no Twitch following, none. I don't even know how to set up a Discord for Twitch. I'm actually talking with Ariel Diaz, who is an artist, tomorrow about how to do all that. Like, I know Facebook, that's where we've built all of our following, all of our customer base. But I like the only thing I know about Twitch is, it's a thing that weird people do. So that's the most, and I don't mean the streaming service.
Have you guys ever considered possibly one day having your own platform to stream it rather than, facilitate it to some of these external parties?
We are working on that. Like, the first thing I did when we did this is I went and I bought like 6 domains, comicconline.com, and then -conline.com, variations. Yeah. Somebody beat me to one of them. They got like the .nl. You see a lot of guys trying to piggyback and take, a lot of, it's like, hey, let me name my thing the same thing as theirs, so they'll think that I'm them and I can get some of their viewers. Well, that's cool, bud, but, that's some really cool content.
Damn you, ratboy84 at AOL.com.
Imitation is the sincerest form of flattery.
It is. But at the same time, they're not doing anything that we're doing. It's not even close.
What makes yours unique in that sense?
We are all comic. We are comic focused. That is it. Comics. I don't want. It's not that I have anything against the voice actors or the celebrities or the people selling their trinkets, right? Their unlicensed material. It's just a thing of, if you want to do that, I'm sure there's a show for you. This just isn't the one.
Right.
So, we tend to focus on the creators that we know, the creators that we built relationships with, the people that will, and from a business standpoint, put asses in the seats.
Right. Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because you got to offer something.
It's almost like it's a comic convention.
That's one thing that Rich Capabianco and JJ, they've been saying that if this was a convention, an actual physical convention, this would be a top tier convention. Like, this is the roster that you'd have at like a C2E2 or an Emerald City or a MegaCon, which we have half of MegaCon's roster right there.
Yeah, you do.
So it's just something that you have to put the big names. You have to get the big names.
So you're talking about Twitch and kind of like how kind of weird it is setting that up. Have any of these, how tech savvy are some of these artists and whatnot? Like, have you had to kind of walk a few of them through things like that?
Yeah, so they're not tech savvy at all.
Well, unless you're talking about our guys, like the Art Germ Collectibles guys, that that's all they do. Like they stream, they'll play like the Oculus and stream it, and they know how to do all that. And then like Ariel Diaz does that. Ryan Kincaid, who's not announced yet, but I'll go ahead and tell you he's going to be on the show.
Short box exclusive.
Thank you. He does streaming every night. So with his wife, and he knows how to do all that. But you get into the junior and.
Because he was the first time it was a little bit of a connection issue with him the first time and stuff like that. So it was, but I mean, we try to work it out ahead of time to where everybody's prepared come show day to actually, at least be technically aware enough to stream at that point. Now, I don't want to name names, but one of the guests on the upcoming show still has a flip phone. So I don't know if that's...
It's JR, isn't it? I knew it. No.
So that speaks to, I think, because a lot of these guys, they just draw and stuff like that.
That's awesome.
And, know, so I don't think there's much of a, hey, we have to do this.
I feel like Ramita would be like, I don't stream, guys, but I did draw Spider-Man shooting web streams. It was with me, huh? That guy gets it.
I would absolutely. I'm like, yeah, JR, you're right.
Like, that's it. Hey! He's such a blast to talk to. I mean, you wouldn't. You figure someone that's been in the industry that long wouldn't, a lot of them after they've been in for so long become a bit jaded and they just kind of,
I mean, that's
don't really have
any
time.
career. Yeah.
Not that dude. That dude wants to come on and he wants to tell you about a con story from 1994 where him and somebody got drunk and drew a mustache on somebody. Yes. It's
that's fuck yeah.
I mean, he is just phenomenal. He's a great storyteller. Guys like him, Chris Claremont, Billy Tucci, those guys, they can tell a story like nobody.
I think it's a New Yorker thing, really.
I guess.
was about to...
One of the most epic things I've seen with him, which I'd really love to have him on the show at one point. We just haven't been able to make anything work to date, but I was at Memphis Comic Expo in 2018, and he was a guest there. Memphis Comic Expo, it's not a very big show, but he always has some good guests. He always has good heavy hitter guests. I'm standing at the table, and he's just sitting there, and he's talking to everybody, and I kind of see the lines start to form and the crowd start to form as he's just telling the story like he's reading it out of a comic book, and
it's the damn Sermon on the Mount.
It's amazing.
It's the ascot, dude. It's the ascot.
It's mesmerizing.
Yeah.
To just sit there and hear him tell this story about his vision of the Marvel Universe and how everything revolves around Logan and Jean, and somehow Kitty Pryde is involved, and we're all just like,
oh my god,
you can't say, but my mouth stuck open and I'm wide-eyed.
I love that. I love that poetic cocky bastard, dude. That dude is so. His stories, man. Greg, have you had a favorite interaction or just one that's been memorable for the last, 2-3 shows you guys have done?
Patrick Gleason, just because he came on, I think, isn't he a surprise for the beta one?
Yeah, he came on right after Alan Quah.
Yeah, so it was 13 hours into the beta, and we kind of got a message an hour before we were going to end, and it's hey, if you want Patrick Gleason, he's willing to come on.
Oh, that's so cool.
And
you guys got people coming to you guys I'll chill, I'll do it.
And that was just a shot of 20 espresso shots or whatever. I was dead tired, and then he just pops up. And I'm like, it's Patrick Gleason.
I can go another 10 hours.
Yeah, I was wide awake because I love that guy. I mean, the Batman and Robin silent issue is still one of my top 10 Batman issues, and so it was amazing to be able to see him and then get to talk to him like that. Well, I missed him on the MegaCon before that, so it was cool. I hadn't seen him in a year and a half, 2 years.
Was there any of these guests that was just kind of surprising that you guys weren't expecting something, so kind of memorable or impactful?
I mean, Junior, obviously, because we weren't expecting him to say yes at any point. We're at least in our minds, we're still just kind of low level nobodies. But I guess we are associated with other people, so it does offer a little bit of weight to what we're trying to do. But he was a big one. Doug Mankey was awesome. Doug wasn't even scheduled for the last one, and Junior was having some issues with his.
I think David Barron.
Oh, that's right, David Barron. He had some family issues, and Mankey just pops up. It's like, hi, David Mankey, or hi, Doug Mankey. You watch him on Instagram. You see that? I don't know if you guys have seen his Instagram, but that dude is a beast.
I'm always surprised by a lot of the kind of iconic, classic, old school names that are up on social media, where it's man, they're posting a lot. They know how to engage the audience.
Instagram's perfect for comic book artists.
Being able to evolve and adapt to the way business changes, and make use of all the tools that you have at your disposal, and he's really good at it. And plus, he has John Jesperson to give him a hand on certain things, so he can do more drawing.
So wait, so you guys are both clearly passionate about this. How do you level off the starstruckness of dealing with these individuals while also trying to run this very important service? It's just kind of or do you just totally let it unleash? Or it's
yes, I enjoy your work for a long time now. Yes.
Perfect Greg imitation, by the way.
Oh, with the zinger.
Part of it, I think, like we had Sean Murphy last one, and I was excited. So I think part of it, you have to kind of show that fanboy a little bit to also get the viewers excited to kind of be like, oh yeah, that whoever's interviewing was just like me, and they're asking the questions I want to ask, and it makes it more exciting. But I mean, honestly, like after going to conventions and working the table with Artgerm and meeting all these other artists, it's not really there anymore. I mean, there's more of a personal feeling of
that's good too.
Like, holy crap, I get to see this guy.
Right.
I'm not having like the stutters or anything like that, like I did when I met George Perez for the first time, or almost fainted. So it's not that You're like,
anymore. Nice Hawaiian shirt, Mr. Perez. Eyebrows sweating into his Coke.
That was pretty much it.
He's like, thanks.
I'm a little bit. I still fanboy the fuck out every time. Like, I do, man.
Yeah, it makes you feel special.
When Doug Mankey come on, I did. I was like, hey, hi, Doug Mankey. And even with Artgerm, I talk with Artgerm daily, and I still like I keep my composure because it's through messages, but I'm still like, I'm fucking talking to Artgerm, and him and anybody else like Derek, Derek Chu is just phenomenal. I love that guy. And they're some of the most humble guys I've ever come across. Like, cool. And Kunka and, and Ejikuri, Eric Chin. Yeah. They're humble and they think it's no big deal, but I'm like, you're you. I'm me.
Yeah. That's a cool thing.
How much prep do you guys do as far as like the, because you mentioned like panels and this kind of being focused mainly on art, but it sounds like there is opportunity to talk to the artists for you guys to engage and ask questions. How much prep do you guys do considering that just this flyer alone for the July 9th show has, over 25 artists on here? I mean, how do you guys go about prepping? Do you guys prep individual or just kind of have an outline?
We don't. No,
a man after our own cloth.
No, Greg does. Greg is he's pretty methodical about things. I am very much a fly by the seat of my pants, trial by fire kind of guy. That's how I've done everything. I make the mistake, I learn from it. If I try to plan it out, I don't follow the plan because, fuck a plan. I don't know. And I could do better if I did, probably. And that's one of the reasons we have help. Got Greg's coming up with preloaded questions that if I ever do get the silence, which I do have a tendency to do, because I'll about 9 hours in and I'm just kind of running on empty and like, so, I'm just doing that.
What you drawing?
Yeah.
He's looking at Greg like, cut me, Mick.
It's like, you got anything, Greg? Because I'm fucking out.
Well, I think some of it depends on the guest, too. So, like, a lot of them are returning either from the beta or the first official one. And a lot of those people, too, are people we've seen at conventions and talked to. So, I mean, outside of the whole, like, it's also an opportunity to get to see these people we were getting to see kind of regularly last year. And having dinners with and stuff like that now it's just, with everything going on, we can't see them as much. So it's, so I think the knowledge of what they've done and stuff like that really is just, it's kind of there. I mean, if you like comics, a lot of these people are really just familiar to you to begin with. And with me being the Phil Jackson of comics, I just know that stuff.
Indeed. Indeed.
Humble.
Indeed.
I like it. Because it looks like for the foreseeable future, at least, that this will be the only way, for the most part, that we'll be able to get our convention kind of fixed and scratched. Do you guys foresee, once things clear up and we can actually go to conventions, do you guys foresee this becoming a physical show, or are you guys going to kind of continue dominating this virtual lane? Have you guys thought out that far?
We have a couple of things, kind of, a couple irons in the fire, trying to figure out, we could go this way, that way. We're not 100% sure yet. We'd like to keep it virtual and just keep it going because it's inexpensive as far as, setting things up. The biggest expense we have at this point is our internet bill. So it doesn't really cost anything. Now, there's also the issue of, we do go to 4 shows a year and, do we take that show on the road? We can't really take it to those because we have to set at the Artgerm table, but maybe we could take it to other shows, and just kind of set up our own booth, walk around interviewing people. But then there's the competing conventions thing. Will other conventions want us to come in there and kind of steal their thunder a little bit?
Man, I mean, if I was to humbly give my opinion, I think, man, why not just continue keeping it virtual? Because, I mean, how many comic conventions would you guys be going up against just here in Florida alone?
Right.
I mean, but ain't no one doing something like you guys are doing. You guys got the foothold. That's just my humble opinion.
Yeah, and it's just weighing options and figuring out what makes best business sense, and that may be it. But at that point, how far can our brand grow if once the actual physical conventions do come back? Is it still going to be something that people are receptive to since they do get to go to the convention to see these people? Right now, we're fulfilling a void in the industry. That once they come back, there's not going to be a void. But I don't think we'll ever compete with the physical convention, and I would never try to. But, is there going to be that desire, that need once everything comes back? If there is, we're going to keep doing it till people stop watching it.
I think what you guys got going for you, even if, conventions do pop back up, is the convenience factor. I mean, if I could just watch it from my home, then, I mean, it's not much work for me to log into whatever website you guys provide. So yeah, okay. So you guys had mentioned, you guys working with Art Germ through Art Germ Collectibles, and I think I was talking to Greg a day or two ago, but it's been really interesting from a comic book collector and just fan perspective, how just his rise to stardom. Because I remember when he was doing the covers for Supergirl. I mean, I went out and bought him because I was like, man, who is this? Who is this dude doing these covers? Like, it reminded me of like Alex Ross, like that hyper realism, but it was like his own style, very clean, like kind of a callback to like kind of retro covers. So it's just, and now it's like, man, whatever this dude touches, it's just like hot. It's just flying off the shelf. The variants he does, I think he's one of the best cover art, like contemporary modern cover artists in the game right now. Period. What's been the biggest lesson that you guys have learned from him during like your time interacting with him and just working with Art Germ Collectibles?
Probably more patience than I already had, just meeting him in person and seeing how he interacts with fans, even unruly fans that come at the table and maybe make a request that's not reasonable or something like that. Just the way he handles all that and the way he kind of carries himself is it's still it's something to aspire to. Still I think on the journey of just being calm and spiritual in life. So it's I really respect him for that.
Thank you. You've got that unlocked, Greg. I don't think you need more.
Yeah.
You've got what is it in damn it. Fuck it. Superman, the movie with Christopher Reeves. He's like, no, not humility. You got gobs of humility, kid. When Perry White tells Clark Kent, like, no, you're already humble enough, please.
I need to get those Dennis Rodman episodes out of my life still. So it's
we're here. We're here for you.
So one of the things is, I don't know if you guys have ever had the opportunity to see him at a panel or anything. When we were at MegaCon this last year, we went up and he did a panel about his art journey. And that is, for me, Greg was talking about the patience, and not only that, but the moderation and the managing your life around the things that you love. His panel pertained to art, but it's not just contained into art. It's anything that you love doing, any calling that you may have, how to manage your life and the things that you love. For him, one of the things he does is he will go into the studio on Monday, and often he will spend the night in the studio away from his wife and his kids. And then Tuesday he will go home for dinner and sleep. Wednesday, he'll do the same thing. He'll start it back over again, do that, sleep in the studio, and then Friday go home. No art on the weekends. That's how he manages, being able to maintain that family life. And with me, I run wide open or not at all, and that's how I've always run. And it can be detrimental to every life. Even in doing good things can be detrimental. So, having him help me with moderation, even in selling comics and being promoting his work, that panel really kind of opened my eyes a bit.
Damn, that was well said.
I know.
I'm over here like...
Yeah, I'm trying to take some notes.
Like, yeah, but if I can't see you tonight...
Good luck with that.
I'm going to be in the studio.
I was like, can I get away with that? I'm like, baby, it's art.
So let me open this discussion up a little more with one more question, and then I'll plug back Comic Conline. We'll go on break. But you guys both... I know Greg for certain... but it sounds like both of you guys have plenty of years of comic convention experience. It sounds like you guys are fans of the convention run. can you share with me your favorite comic convention memory? Ooh. Or just moment, one that really stands out, that kind of epitomizes, like, this is why I go to Comic Cons. Greg, I'm going to start with you because, I mean, I know you've got a few probably underneath your belt. You like beating Phil Jackson at Miami
When
Comic-Con.
Neil Adams said he gave Christ the idea for the New Testament.
He would do that. Oh, fuck. I think my favorite convention experience, I don't know if it's one that's like, oh crap, I have to go back to cons because of this, but just one that is probably the most memorable at this point is meeting Derek Chu for the first time. He's setting up Artgerm's print wall at MegaCon last year, and I didn't know what he looked like. And we're all just standing around talking, and Flash 72 had been solicited at that point. It's like a Captain Cold and Flash cover, and I love Captain Cold, like favorite Flash villain, probably favorite DC villain.
Interesting.
And I'm like, yeah, I can't wait to meet Derek Chu. That cover is like the best Flash cover I've ever seen in my life. And he just turns around and he's like, oh, thank you. I can't believe you like my cover.
You're like, yeah, thank you, random guy.
Yeah, not you.
I'm talking about Derek Chu.
But I don't think him and I would even really be talking like we do on a constant basis now if it wasn't maybe for that, or just it was a cool introduction, I guess, a little bit more lighthearted, or kind of something to laugh about, to this day still when we talk about that part.
That's awesome.
That's a good one, Greg. What about you, Corey?
All right, so I have two. One being from the same convention. Right after that happened, Derek was very young, very, very new on the scene. He'd only done 3 covers prior to that. So what I did is I walked up to Stan, Artgerm, and I'm like, hey, buddy, do you mind if I take Derek walking around before the convention actually opens? And I want to take him shopping for Derek Chu books, see who recognizes him, see who notices him. So we walk around the entire MegaCon convention looking for Derek Chu covers.
That's awesome.
So that was very comical, very fun. Now, the other one is we were in New York in October. And this was the first big convention that Greg and I had really worked together, because I had been to San Diego, and, Greg... It wasn't, Stan had decided it wasn't time for Greg to go yet, for whatever reason. I don't know why. I don't know if I think the table was full. San Diego's, it's a very small booth next year. So we're there, and, we had already got all our stuff set up, and there were other creators just coming in. I've known Dawn McTeague for some time, and I see her carrying these giant bags in. So I grab the bags and I go down and I help Dawn McTeague set up. Later on, Greg and I meet up with Babs Tarr and we help her get set up. It's just being able to help these creators, the people that I don't know if this just doesn't make financial sense to get anybody to come help them set up or whatever. Just, offering the convention services just because, they're creators that we like and follow and, enjoy their work.
Sure.
What's another? I know there's more, man. Oh, dude, I embarrassed the ever-loving hell out of Don and Sora. So they had never met Artgerm.
Don and Sora who? Just for
Sora Sung.
Okay.
She's done a lot of Lady Death stuff. She has her own Kickstarter called Carnal Confessions and Aurora. I've been friends with her and Brett Kate for a while, and they had never met Artgerm before. This was at MegaCon last year. So I'm talking with Don, trying to talk her into giving me a commission because I really want a Don McTeague commission. And so talking with her about Artgerm, I'm like, you ever met him? And she's like, no. I'm like, well, you want to? So I grab her and I bring her over, and, she was just completely, in awe, just, art recognizing art, I guess, that, artists still have heroes.
Oh, sure.
And then Sora, who's very much introverted in that way. Like she admires from afar. So she would not get up and come to the table. So I walk over, I grab Artgerm. I said, hey, do you want to embarrass someone for me? He's like, sure. So he comes up over and he meets Sora, and she just turns, she's Asian, and she turns bright ass red and then slides down into her chair, just like so excited to meet him. And that's some more joy that I enjoy, like delivering to people's lives. You can't give comics to everybody because they produce their own comics. So give it somehow.
That's a good one. Thanks, Corey.
That's awesome.
See, what about you, man? What's your favorite comic convention memory?
Man, honestly, seeing, I love seeing this is like every time I go, old ass head creators when they have panels, because they all kind of sound the same. Like you meet like old creators, they all have that same sort of like,
"Hey, you doing? Hey, you read that one, huh? Who do I make this out to? Caesar, huh? What is that? You Puerto Rican? Where you from? Dominican?
yeah, Puerto Ricans here.
Yeah, I'm from Queens. Yeah, a lot of Puerto Ricans up there. There you go.
You know, it's just like, oh wow, this is great. Like I met Al Feldstein at Heroes Con before he passed, and I got an actual print from him, and I was just kind of like, you are Tales from the Crypt. Like, dude, like, I don't know how to say it. And he's just like,
well, that's very sweet of you.
You know, like, it's just like, yeah, I use this to help put my kids through college. You know, like, it's like he's got such a level head. It's just like, it was so cool, like, just shaking his hand and just being like, dang, man, I really appreciate your work. He's like,
yeah, that's great. That's great. How do you spell your name? ZX? What is that?
You know what? Don't worry about it. Just your signature's fine, Al.
Damn, that's a good one. That's a good one. The one that comes to mind for me was
Neil Adams.
No, was I think it might have been like my first MegaCon, and so this was like 2010 or 11. I think it was 2010. But at that time, I was really into spray painting and graffiti, and I was making stencils out of projector paper. Well, you know, like
famous landmarks.
Yeah, yeah. Like I was making stencils out of projector film. So I would just, you know, I was doing like Batman. Yeah. But I would do, I was doing like Batman stencils, and I would just kind of spray paint them on canvases or just things that friends were like, hey, can you do a little spray paint on like my notebook? Or
this might be my favorite story too.
So I was doing I was using Darwin Cook's Batman artwork because it's just very simple. Well, and with all due respect, it's just very simplistic to transfer into a stencil because there isn't much details like some other artists that use a lot of line work. So I knew that he was going to be at this convention, so I spray painted like a Batman on a canvas. It looked really cool. I was, you know, all spray paint and whatnot. And I approached Darwin Cook. I was like, man, I'm such a big fan of your art. It's inspired me in a lot of ways. I'm into graffiti and stuff like that. I use your
you'll sign this or I'll tag your car, bitch.
I was like, I use your artwork as, you know, for stencils, like to base it on these stencils, and I brought you this canvas. And it was like his artwork on canvas that I spray painted.
Dude.
And he was so humble and nice about it. Looking back, it wasn't until like I met Cesar and told him the story. He was like, so you stole this guy's artwork and you showed him like the evidence, you know?
and then had the audacity. That's not even it. Then had the audacity to ask Darwin Cook to sign his own artwork plagiarized by a street kid.
No, I hadn't asked him that son. I just wanted to give it to him. I was like, hey, I just wanted to give this to you to say, hey, thank you so much for, you know, what you do. I'm a big fan, and, you know, it's inspired me to get into this art form. And he was like, man, kid, this is really good. How about I trade you some art? And he traded me. I didn't know the comic at the time, but it was a Richard Parker. Yeah. Richard Parker, yeah. Was it Richard Parker?
Richard Stark. Parker.
Richard Stark, yeah. The noir series that he did. But it was like an original, like little, like a print. It was like a black and white print. And he was like, "I'll trade your artwork, man. I don't, you know, just take artwork from fans. I want to trade you." And I got a picture with him. Like he's holding up the Batman, I'm holding up the Richard Parker, and I was like, "Man, that's really cool." But it wasn't until I met C that I was like, "Man." Damn, that could have went really ugly quick.
You were the inner city program kid. He reached out to you, you know. He's just like, if I could change one, if I could change one.
If I was a shade or two lighter, I would have got a cease and desist right there.
Like, yo, if I could change one.
Yeah, but
is this the same year as the Yuri thing that you and Torres had with the anime booth?
Oh, yeah. That was the year that we learned what hentai really was.
Wait, what do you mean really was? You're like, I mean, I had dabbled.
Yeah. No. It was yaoi. Thank you.
Oh, you're talking about furries.
Yeah, yaoi and like that kind of culture. Well, I mean, it was my first comic convention. I kept telling Drew, like, yo, why do people like yelling yaoi and then asking, like, I would just high five anyone that would be like, yaoi, and they'd, you know, fly the flag, and I'd high five them like, yeah, yaoi. Like, I'd say it too, like, yeah, yaoi. I thought it was like a thing to say.
Some guy whips out his red rocket in front of you. You're like, oh, shit.
But I think later towards the end of the day, I was like, yo, D, I want to see if I could find some anime stuff, like Gundam stuff. So, and granted, and to kind of your point, back in those early days of MegaCon, it was way more comic heavy.
Yeah.
Like way more.
Yeah.
So anime stuff was just manga stuff, anime stuff, which is hard as fuck to find. So there was only like 3, 4, 5 booths that were selling anything anime related. And I remember going through this box, and I wasn't pulling out these mangas all the way through. I was just looking at the covers, and none of them like caught my attention. And the dude running the booth was like, "Yeah, so you guys into yaoi, right? Yaoi, huh?" And then I was like, "Yeah, man, yaoi."
Yeah, Gundam yaoi. Yeah.
And then I think I had asked Drew right there. I was like, "Yo, Drew, what the hell is yaoi?" And the dude was like, "Oh, it's this stuff." And he pulls up like these comic books fully out the box, and I see all like this hentai shit going on. And I was like, "Whoa!"
You're like, "Yo, is that the new Gundam?" Nope, that's an anthropomorphic fox fucking a duck. Okay, all right.
Yeah, I love conventions, man. But that's gonna be a weird transition.
I'm sorry for bringing that story out.
No, that's cool, man.
You dare
I gotta look up those
apologize for
pictures. Corey, Greg, what you guys are doing with Comic Conline is fantastic. I'm glad to see you guys like being hella successful and throwing something like this. Because to your point, man, you know, I miss conventions as much as like I'll bitch about them. Like
After that story, you're like, I miss conventions. Whatever happened to that fox dick?
So it's cool that you know that you guys had the inspiration and courage to throw something like this, and it's successful, and the feedback is so great. Not just from the fans, but also the creators too, man. Like this is like big ups to both of you guys. And I want to go ahead and and feel free to chime in if I miss anything. Oh, go ahead, Corey.
Well, I want to kind of one thing that I didn't say earlier is, you know, one of the reasons that we kept it free as well is when this Art Germ Collectibles thing started, you know, Stan didn't have to pick me. You know, I was a nobody who ran a random ass comic group with, you know, I mean, I don't know if I had any direction or any, he saw something, you know, and I mean, I'm not saying I was a charity case by any stretch, but I was a fucking charity case. You know, he just picked some random dude that he felt he could trust and gave him an opportunity to succeed and do well. You know, and I will never, as long as I live, be able to pay him back for that.
Damn.
So the only thing I can do at this point is you know, we have to pay this forward. You know, we were given something amazing, so we have to do something great with it.
Look, if you guys haven't already
changed just one,
if you guys if you guys haven't hit the mark already, then man, I'm saying you guys are on the right track. Then
yeah, seriously.
But I wanted to go and just reiterate to our listeners, Comic Conline taking place July 9th through the 12th, 4 days? My math's bad. 4 days. 4-day virtual comic convention that you can enjoy from the comfort of your own home. I mean, the lineup is hella stacked. I mean, pretty much every name that we pretty much brought up is probably
all the heavy hitters.
You want one more exclusive for your show here?
Sure, it's exclusive.
So those you look at the very first guys on the list there on every day. You know, you got Tyler Kirkham, which is no longer going to be doing a CGC signing, at least not right now. It's postponed. Then you have Greg Horn. Then you have Connor Palmiotti. Then you have Mike Mayhew. They're all going to be at CGC. We're going to have Brian Weeks and Stephen Davis.
Oh, nice.
Are going to be on site doing the interview from CGC.
Oh, wow.
That's cool. Damn. Yeah, this is like I said, man. It won't take nothing for anyone listening that's remotely interested in comics and the artists that we've mentioned to just go on Facebook.com/corner certified, right?
Yeah, currently we're looking into changing that.
Okay. Well, I know that you guys got a website, comicconline.com, that people can go to.
It's like online with a C in the front.
Yes. Right? Yep. And then I guess if you guys want to shout out the Facebook or even the Creators Corner.
Plug away.
Yeah, the Instagram is at the Comic Conline, and the Facebook.
With the Twitter.
Same with the Twitter. And I don't know what the Twitch is off the top of my head. I really don't, man.
I still don't know what Twitch is. So
we're learning as we go. Art Germ does Twitch a lot, so we're going to get some pointers from him as well. And then the Facebook, obviously, facebook.com/corner certified, which we're going to change, I think, to Comic Conline eventually. It's just we've already put all of our promotional stuff saying corner certified, so it would make very little sense to change it now because nobody would be able to find us.
Fair enough. And once again, what people can enjoy out of viewing Comic Conline is panels, interviews, the opportunity for art raffles, and sketches?
No, just straight up buying art.
Boom,
I mean,
there
we
we go.
have, there were preloaded signings where you could mail your books in to get them signed. A lot of the creators are going to be signing the fans' books right there on the camera. There's going to be, remarks involved. There's Doug Mankey's going to have a lot of sketches. Art Derm's going to have commission spots. Derek Chu, Kunka, Edgecurry. Pretty much every creator there, you're going to be able to purchase something from.
Cool.
Not pretty much, every single one. If that's your favorite creator, you'll be able to buy something.
That's awesome.
Damn, that's awesome. All right, folks. Well, like I said, Conline, check it out. I want to go on a quick music break, play something by DJ Crumbs, and then we'll be back. And we've got hella emails to read, man. Our listeners have been sending in emails with their thoughts, champions, etc. So we'll get through the emails and, of course, do champion season. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
I like streamlined.
Yeah, Greg. Come on, man. Oozes the guy. The comic shop.
He's like, yeah. How dare he talk shit about Marvel in Potter's house?
What?
Greg, how often are you up at Altered Egos? Are you still up? Are you still up there pretty frequently?
Well, this shop's like 3 doors down from it.
So pretty much every day.
Yeah, so
But
I always stop in. But no, I don't work there anymore.
You're not on the couch no more, just shooting the shit about Batman.
Don't have the time.
Damn, dude. This is what happens. Greg just got too big.
And the cat's in the cradle and the silver spoon.
Well, it's. But I guess there is time, but there's a lack of wanting to.
I will plan a trip up to Altered Egos on a day that you're at Art Germ Collectibles, so I can come in. I definitely.
it's quite literally every day.
Okay, perfect.
Yeah.
Now they're not open for like walking business right now.
They're not open for what?
You can't go inside.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Curbside pickup
Got
only
it.
with them.
Well, Drew had told me that he I think did curbside and then had a chance to see the Art Germ Collectibles office. And he was like, dude, it's crazy. They got white gloves and shit.
Anytime to
Bet. I can't wait.
We got prints, comics, all that shit.
Ooh, well, and speaking of which, I can thank you again because you had donated those prints for our comic or hip hop and or comic swap and hip hop food drive, which was really cool prizes. I might have stashed like 3 for myself, but who's counting? Who's counting? Who's counting? Right? Who's counting? I wasn't counting.
I mean, we can't sell those anyway. So
exactly. Who's counting? Right?
Jesus, is this the Potter's a criminal?
No, I might edit this part out.
Hey, it's the perks of like running stuff. You get some prints on occasion, some free art.
Hey, when I was coming up, I used to steal Darwin Cook prints and fucking make that fool sign his own artwork.
Fuck that. I didn't even steal his print. I just made his print. Rest in peace, man. He was
Sign
so
that
good.
shit.
He was so fucking good. Yo, Short Box Nation, we are back. Once again, that was music by DJ Crumbs. We have got about 7 emails to read. So I definitely want to give a spotlight and time to go through all of these emails. Greg and Corey have joined us for this second part as well. Of course, we'll do champion season right after that. Hey, Shortbox Nation. Sorry for the interruption. Just a few quick words from our sponsor, and we'll get right back to the show. Yeah, so this is where I pick up my comics.
Excuse me, might I remind you the rules here at No Touch Collectibles? No loitering, no friendship, no touching the merchandise without gloves, and no free bags and boards.
Yeah, man, I know. This shop sucks. I don't even know why I shop here.
Well, we could go to Jacksonville's premier location for comic books, collectibles, toys, and more.
You okay?
At Gotham City Limits, you get 10% off comic books in your pull. 20% off trade paperbacks and hardcovers. 10% off high-end figures and statues. And free bags and boards. It's practically criminal.
And that's why Gotham City Limits is a place of the people.
How many times have you watched the Batman trilogy?
I'm ashamed to say.
Well, I mean, they're not bad.
One time for every time the Joker has taken the city hostage.
Are you done with that?
Yeah, I'm done.
Well, let's just go take our business
there.
Gotham City Limit. It's the comic book shop Jax deserves, but not the one.
All right. I get it. It's a great shop. Let's just go. C, I hope you're ready.
I'm ready.
It's a whole gauntlet. The first one is from John Luna. Luna, I did have to edit it down just for time's sake and because we've got that secret live show, and I want to keep that on hush-hush.
Gotcha. All right, here we go. Friend Luna has written, "What's up, Shortbox crew? I hope everyone is feeling happy, healthy, and doing whatever they can to keep momentum going in a positive direction. I want to say thanks for staying on a positive message on every podcast. Now more than ever, that type of vibe is the virus we need to be spreading. So, thank you. Like everyone else, I've been spending less time on the road. While I hope to hit the road again soon to keep dropping Shortbox flyers off at comic book shops near and far, that didn't stop me from yelling actor Danny Trejo's name at my computer when Barter and Drew were scrambling for his name. Put some goddamn respect on inmate number 1, Danny Trejo, a true legend of American cinema. Maybe share this link to his new documentary. Machete should get a champion." Yo, first off, let me say something here. John out there like fucking Shortbox Johnny Appleseed.
Dude.
Like out there like... There should be like folk songs written about Luna, like, and he went to the comic store and gave a flyer, and he said, "You better put some respect on Machete's name." All right, go back to his email.
I'm gonna sing that to him next time I see him.
You fucking know who the Mexican actors are. I heard the call from you guys to choose an artist to spotlight, and I immediately thought about David Mack. His watercolor work is something to get lost in, and I always enjoy the colors that he blends. His current work on American Gods is beautiful. I've been trying to clear wall space for his music art series for a while. His portraits of David Bowie, swoon, and Jim Morrison are wonderful. Each piece a tribute to the musician and the individual beauty they offered to the world. Other musicians include Chris Cornell, Prince, swoon, and Bob Marley, swoon. For fans of these musicians and few others, the series is fantastic. Kabuki is something I'm just scratching the surface on, and I'm looking forward to digging deeper. Knowing he built the series on his own is something we can all look forward to for motivation. Starting that series at 19 years old and also learning that he was working on the book while his mother was on her deathbed brings new depth to the emotions and passions that were drawn into and unfold on the page. While the pandemic is throwing a monkey wrench into a lot of plans, it is great to see that you guys are making Pop and Luke Cage proud, always moving forward. Thanks for keeping the content coming. We will keep listening. All the best, Luna.
Yo, when he dropped the Pops and Luke Cage, I was like, "Oh, you motherfucker want to tear me up."
I was like, "Oh God."
I do want to make a comment only because he brought up the artist spotlight, and I don't think I've announced it on one of our weekly episodes, but the next artist spotlight we will be doing. I just had a brain fart.
Art Adams.
Art Adams.
Yeah!
Thank you so much. Art Adams will be our next artist spotlight episode, and as always, that was in part, thanks to the Shortbox patrons and the True Believer tier. This time we did things a little different. We had them submit nominees, and then we selected one internally, and Art Adams happened to be the winner. So
you guys didn't do Junji Ito, huh? All right,
Corey.
It's cool.
I think next one we should kind of open it up to like anime and manga artists.
I think next time we should only open it up to me and me.
What were you gonna say, Greg?
Now, this reminded me because I do find myself yelling at you also when I listen to the episodes. So, Last Dance comes on Netflix July 15th.
Oh, cool.
I was listening to that bonus episode, and y'all are trying to guess the date and when it's coming out. I'm like, come on, guys, you should know this.
That is the quintessential podcast listener frustration, which is wonderful. Absolutely. We all share that experience. It's
Thank you, Greg. I can tell Drew that now.
It's Mixius Pitlick. Mixius Pitlick.
All right, moving on. Our next email, and John's email and this next one, which is Corey's, they sent it a couple weeks ago. So
the Torgeson.
Yeah. All right. Here's Corey's.
Here we go. That's no Zaku, boy. No Zaku. All right. Zaku?
Yeah.
Man, don't be... You are the last person to try to correct people. No, I will accept it. What up, short boxers? You've summoned me 2 weeks in a row, and it feels great to participate more. Jesus, is he like Beetlejuice? Like, if we do it one more time, he's going to appear in person?
Well, he did send a voicemail that same week, and then this email.
Holy
and I was
shit.
like, voicemail first.
Yeah. Shout out to Malcolm for his great insights into the Gundam franchises. Wing may have gotten most Americans into the franchise, but it doesn't hold up well over time. It was basically the abridged version of the original 3 series, 0079 Zeta, Double Zeta. I would absolutely recommend Gundam Iron-Blooded Orphans if you want a modern attempt at the feat. In these trying times, I feel that Gundam begins to shine even more. In short, the Universal Century timeline is a lengthy story about racial inequality and the extremes taken by both sides to quell the other's attempt to establish their ideologies. On this trip, you're introduced to amazing characters on both sides who genuinely fight for the right thing, as well as many asshole individuals and companies who only want to make a buck. It's a war story containing senseless genocide, genetic tampering, rape, child abandonment. Jesus, Corey.
Yeah, I was like, wow, this is Gundam?
Yeah. Was this on Cartoon Network? Espionage, star-crossed lovers, cross-dressing, coming of age, a few good bitch slaps, and all the other things you expect in a children's television show. Sorry, Corey, I stepped on your joke ahead of time. You knew what you were doing. 14-year-old you would love the mechs, but adult you might cry a few times. The original story reaches a beautiful and rewarding zenith in Gundam Unicorn. It's entertaining on its own, but the brevity falls short if you haven't waded hand in hand through the bullshit in the previous series. My quick Gundam recommendations are the ever-vigilant 08th MS team. Am I saying that right, Bonner?
Yeah.
You're the Gundam guy here.
Those are just numbers, but yeah.
Okay. Jesus Christ. My personal favorite short, Gundam 0083 Stardust Memory. Neither requires knowledge of the main storyline, but you will be rewarded if you know. Quick Champions, Grant Morrison's The Green Lantern, with artist Liam Sharp and colorist Steve Cliff. It's very lengthy, and I got lost frequently with names or locations, but found no difficulty turning each page. Sounds about right for Morrison. That classic art style is beautiful and is so much more intriguing than the super clean line work of the Dark Stars issues that followed. Stuffed a lot in this one. Shortbox, Corey.
Shout out to Corey, man.
Yeah, absolutely.
That is the last long one that you got to read. See,
Yo, that's okay. Hey, man, I learned.
I'm going to go ahead and probably put my comic card on in Risk on the line here, like I normally do on this show.
About to say you didn't watch a Gundam series?
No, not at all. Liam Sharp. Yeah. I won't lie. I thought he was a new artist. It wasn't until I went into Action Toys on cassette, and he had a bunch of back issues of Death Head, and I was flipping through it. I was like, yo, this art is fantastic. Who is this? And it's like, Liam Sharp? You mean the new rookie? The new hot rookie on the scene? So, yeah, once again.
This coming from the man who thought Patrick Ewing was drawing for Immortal Hulk.
Oh, wow.
That's not true. That's not true.
Okay.
Well, yeah. Anyways, our next email is from Matthew Vigo. These all are pretty short and go pretty quick.
All right, here we go. Catching Up is the title of this email. Hey there, Shortbox. I've been falling behind on my podcast recently, but I finally listened to the Enter the Sandman episode of the show. I smiled when Ashley mentioned Jay Lee as an artist whose style has changed in a good way, because that's exactly who I was thinking of when I wrote the email. The first arc of the New 52's Batman-Superman book circa 2013 was drawn by him, and it's gorgeous. His work on Inhumans from the early 2000s? That's so gorgeous. Kinda ugly, just saying. And I agree about Jr. Love his Spider-Man, hate his Superman. Ivan Reis is in the similar boat. His Superman is amazing, but his Batman always looks strange to me. Anyway, keep doing what you do, as long as the kids still say it. Make mine Shortbox.
That's sweet. Let me go ahead and shameless plug for Greg and Corey. I want to, give them a break. Speaking of Jay Lee, he'll be at Comic Conline July 9th through the 12th, as well as JR.
Nicely done.
Yes, they will be. And they'll be brought by Oasis Comics, who's his handler. We actually had the opportunity when we were at MegaCon. We were tabled right next to Jay Lee.
Cool.
And those guys they're awesome. They have some really cool books coming up for sale.
Jay Lee, I think he does like a yearly or annual sketchbook.
That guy's
his stuff, man.
I'm such a Stephen King dork.
I think
when Dark Tower came out, I was like,
I think my introduction to Jay Lee was his Executioner song.
Really?
The X-Men Executioner song. He did a couple issues.
Mine was the couple Spider-Man Iron Fist team-up issues he did, where they're fucking beautiful.
Yeah. Greg, Corey, y'all want to?
Oh, I'm with Saber on that one.
That one.
Yeah, that Executioner. Of course, I'm old time X-Men fan, so that's my first run with most artists.
Yeah. I remember with Jay Lee, I always had to have every light on in the house. 'Cause I'm like, God damn, ink's really.
You're like
heavy.
trying to swipe the comic like brightness.
Thank you for that, Matt Vigo. Next email is from Kevin Bacosi.
Oh,
Liddy Titty.
What?
That's just a thing me and him say. Anyway, sorry.
Inappropriate, Potter. Oh, we're having a talk afterward. This one's from Kevin. Question. What's up, Shortbox? I was wondering, who, in y'all's opinion, is that dude in the Marvel Universe? Like, one-on-one fight, who's taking the belt? Keep it geeky.
Yes. Yeah, keep it geeky, baby. You know, Liddy Titty, Kevin.
Stop that.
Thank you for the
I feel weird.
I'd have to say probably Daredevil, man. I feel like...
What is he asking?
Who's that dude in the comic universe, Marvel universe?
In reference to what, though? Like he said a one-on-one fight. So,
who's taking the belt?
Stronger, or who's, in your opinion, the coolest guy?
I guess who's taking the belt means who would win, who is just a nonstop winner.
That doesn't... All right, go ahead.
Well, now I'm like, well, damn. I mean, if Daredevil went up against...
Because if you're going technically, old school rules, Stan and Jack rules, Hulk is still the strongest there is. Regardless of what retconning has been done, they're always going to defer to, but you know that Hulk.
Well, even now, Hulk is strongest there is, and he's an immortal. So.
Right.
True.
Not only is that, he's strongest there is in the fucking
Hulk.
metaphysical way, too. You're like, my brain.
I'll probably throw in Sentry. I guess if we're talking weight class.
If I liked your answer,
so
no.
I love it.
Yes,
No, after you.
But Sarah, your answer I like better. I like going that route. Like, who is, in your opinion, that dude? The way you said it. You said Daredevil.
At that point, Sentry ended up defeating himself with the Void. So
I mean, that's just how badass he is. He's got to defeat his own self, you know. But I feel like DD has kind of went up against. I mean, DD went up against fucking Hulk. He's gone up against Hulk.
He's like
Did not
Rocky.
win, but yeah, exactly.
But
like
also
Rocky.
by that logic, Squirrel Girl beat Thanos. So,
Squirrel Girl has also beat Dr. Doom.
Yes.
Can we all agree that Squirrel Girl is that girl? Is that dude?
I'm not going to say it.
Greg, you ain't gonna chime in?
Oh,
this is prime comic nerd, man.
Luke Cage.
I'm
just I mean, he's the people's champ.
Damn.
The people's champ.
I argue with that.
Yeah. My actual pick is Cable.
Nice.
Why Cable? That's a good choice. No, that's a good choice.
Because the dude's, I mean, he's always prepared for everything. I mean, if you've read Cable Volume 2, I don't know if any of you have, but they set up the plot lines. That guy set seeds in issue 1 to defeat Bishop all the way to issue 25. So, I mean, that was a Dwayne Straczynski was the writer on that one. And it was I've never really enjoyed a whole lot else by Dwayne Straczynski, but that was a phenomenal storyline. He went back and he set up the seeds for a religion years prior to help him defeat Bishop later in the future, 500 years in the future.
Damn. I mean,
the guy prepares for everything, and if he fucks up, he can just time travel and fix it.
You know what my favorite Cable anything is the 2-issue crossovers where he fights X-Man. And Ian Churchill's doing the art.
Yes, man.
And y'all ain't ready for that.
You're
man. Come on.
It's it's just a okay boomer for 2 issues.
Dude, Ian Churchill is a beast.
Yeah, that dude I don't know what he's doing now. I know he was doing Red Hulk for a little bit, but Ian Churchill, when I first got into comics, well, that was right after Age of Apocalypse. I was like, I want everything X-Men. And then,
boy, they got
the
you.
artist.
Yeah, they did. They fucking got
absolute favorite Cable issue. Which spoiler here, I am a lifelong Cable fan. My son's middle name is Cable.
Look, I've never heard anyone bring up.
Awesome.
I've never heard anyone bring up Cable if they're not talking about TV. So this is kind of cool.
Yo, he's the fucking Ascani son over here.
Damn.
I got a fanboy tattoo.
All
Yeah.
right,
So I mean, he did that Future Shock. It's Cable issue number 25. And it is the best standalone Cable issue that I've ever read because it goes in and it tells you a lot about his future and his past and the way things kind of worked out. And he takes Domino with him to meet is it T-Blood? I think I can't remember his name right now. I'm blanking.
I'd be really surprised if there was someone screaming out the name.
Someone right now as a Cable fan is like, God, their head's exploding.
Yeah, I'm like one of 4
Cable fans?
Hot takes.
That was good. Cozy, thank you for that one.
I was just say Daredevil is mine for the record.
Yeah.
I was
DD, man.
Yeah.
Let me move on to this next email. It's from Tim Stacy.
Tim Stacy. Here we go. This one's titled Champion. Hey, Shortbox. Just wanted to take a minute to champion a fledgling little band of pop culture do-gooders. The Shortbox Podcast Gang. Oh, shit. I know it wasn't that long ago. I said gave you guys a shout out over social media before COVID. But sincerely, I think the quarantine break may have helped breathe new life into your show. It's been better than the greatness that y'all laid down before the break. More specifically, episodes 290, 4-month revisit with Brian. Even with the Peter Jackson length Ultimate Extended Director's Cut edition virtually exploding Brian's bladder. We did break that man's freaking bladder. He was so nice. He was just sitting there like, gentlemen, I must pee. Please. It was like, all right, well, let's go on a break. You okay? Pew. Sorry. All right. Virtually exploding Brian's bladder was insightful, engaging, and all around fun. This kind of episode inspires me as not only a collector, but as an artist. In this comic book culture we all love. And I'm 43, so I can appreciate it when Cesar comes with the, quote, old man perspectives. We don't get older, fools. We get better. All of you behind the mics have a true chemistry that keeps it real and authentic. I subscribe to several different podcasts centered around comics, and you guys always get first click when a new batch of downloads come across the phone. Congrats on your success so far, and here's to more to come. Keep doing what... Oh, fuck this guy.
Yes.
Oh,
I got to read it. You have to read the email.
I know.
Word for word, please.
I know. I will. Keep doing what you do. And as always, Tim, you're wrong for this. Stay geeky.
Yeah, baby.
Wait. Then he goes, no, wait. Make mine short box.
Damn.
P.S. Do you guys accept any fan mail / snail mail? If you do you mind sharing an address so I can send it to you?
Yes, you can send it to my house.
No. Send it to my house. Tim, that was good, Tim. Thank you, man.
Yeah, I'm going to frame this. I'm going to frame this email.
Dude, you stuck that up on me. I was like, oh, shit.
Yeah. And I guess the only comments I got to say about this email is, our previous episode, floppies and hardcovers. It was a long conversation. It's been a while since we did an over 2-hour episode. But
what else you guys got to do?
But I think for any fans of comics, whether you are especially like new, you're curious about the comic book world, you want to start collecting, you don't know where to begin. I think our 2 episodes of Brian have been a stellar introduction into the world of comic books from the perspective of someone who recently just got into collecting comic books this year. So
that's the best part about it, though. And I hope if you go back and listen to it, I will reiterate the message that we had hopefully expressed before, is that even if you're a beginner, if you're following what you like, you are a comic book expert, and everybody else is basically a Wikipedia article that you can exploit, as far as like heads that have been in there a long time, like both Botter and I.
Great. Thank you, Tim. We got 2 more to go, all right? This one is from Joshua Pickett, titled Jeff Lemire.
Yes, Jeff Lemire. So, my luck, I'll send this email and Ashley won't be on... Oh, fuck, she's not! Yeah. My luck, I'll send this email and Ashley won't be on the show. But I wanted to take a minute to champion Jeff Lemire. Essex County, Sweet Tooth, and his Valiant stuff are great. I just ordered his TKO book titled Sentient. Can't wait to read it. I'm not trying to call you out. Just curious. God damn it. Thanks for all the content, and remember, stay geeky. Josh?
Man,
you're wrong for that.
I feel like that just might have to be our fucking slogan at this
point.
The fans have spoken.
If they're gonna say it,
spoken.
They got to say it right. It's keep it geeky.
You're right. Keep it geeky.
Keep it geeky.
I don't know where they got stayed, but it's fine. In response to Jeff Lemire,
what are your thoughts on Jeff Lemire?
I thought his Valiant. I think didn't he write Deadshot?
Dude, Valiant cannot do any wrong.
I know. I was a fan of his Valiant stuff. I have Sentient in my box right now. I'm going to get around to it, especially with it winning or being nominated for Eisner Award. Not that does much for me.
I know what you mean.
But I am curious, okay. I am not aware of Essex County or Sweet Tooth, even though like friends like Austin speak nothing but great words about it.
Essex County was a hardcover that he did some time ago. It was, the ones that I've seen are very limited edition, hand numbered and signed. They came that way.
Oh, that is cool. I did not know that part.
Greg, I believe Altered Ego still has one.
Greg, you nice. A Jeff Lemire fan?
Pass.
Oh, okay. All right.
Oh, okay.
All
We
right.
got Ashley's voice channeling from beyond to the grave.
Dude, Jeff Lemire wrote my single favorite issue in all of comics. When he did the Extraordinary X-Men run a couple years ago, it was Extraordinary X-Men number, I believe it was 16. It had an homage to the old, it was the Hulk holding up the mountain from Secret Wars.
Yeah.
But it was Storm's basically running around, and she's leading the X-Men at the time. And they're running around trying to fight the infection from the Mpox and everything like that was killing all the mutants.
Mpox.
Yeah, dude, everything.
I know.
That's so awesome.
So, which was caused by the Inhuman Cloud that was killing everybody.
Okay, yeah.
So the Terrigen Mist.
Yep.
So there's this little girl in a tent, in sort of a triage tent, and the little girl's dying from the Mpox, and Storm's running around busy trying to, come up with other ways to counteract the Inhumans' attacks and things, and eventually Storm gets to this tent, it's the girl's dying wish, it's the Make-A-Wish thing kind of for mutants, and Storm gets to this tent, and the one thing that this little girl wanted her whole life as a mutant was to become an X-Man. And on her deathbed, dude, I'm going to burst into tears talking about it. They give her own little code name and everything just before she dies. And dude, that issue just wrecked me just because of how well he set that up and just totally grabbed a hold of you.
Damn. Greg's crying in the back. I got him on mute because Greg's fucking sobbing like a baby.
Thank God it was Storm and it wasn't like Gambit who rolled in there smoking a cigarette. He's like,
I guess you're an X-Men now.
Yeah, all right, Shelly, what do you want? I just want to be an X-Men. Yeah, Gambit got 3 kids he don't know about somewhere in the bayou.
Also, I want to mention Black Hammer. I have read Jeff Lemire's Black Hammer, and it is fantastic.
But I like that Ashley was represented through Greg's voice of pass.
Yeah. Thank you, Josh. And last but not least, and one email that I think you'll enjoy a lot is from our good friend Herschel.
Oh, shit. Oh, Giannis. All right. What up, girl? Greetings, Shortbox. First time emailing. I discovered the podcast in 2016, and I have been listening since. Thanks for being great and hilarious on every episode. Also, shout out to C. I've read No Longer Human by Junji Ito months back. Usually not into horror, but damn, I was not able to put that down. Finished reading it in a day. Manga and its illustration, the manga and its illustration were exquisite, and I plan on reading more from Ito. Definitely recommend for an artist spotlight. I should consider upgrading my Patreon tier just by saying that. A little sweaty laugh emoji. Well, that's all I got. Continue being awesome. Warmly, Herschel. No one ever signs off warmly anymore.
No, it's usually...
fuck you, keep it geeky, insert name here. Yeah, thanks, Herschel. Damn.
Yeah, I figured you might like that.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
She's
good people.
There's hope for Junji Ito. Again,
they're fucking. God damn it.
All right, folks. I know that was a lot of emails, but we had a lot of backlog to catch up on. I'm glad that we got to give all of our listeners.
That's also time. I'd say that's also a testament. So if you listen to the show, we read your emails. Don't think they're just falling on deaf ears. So send us more stuff.
Yeah, man.
We do like reading them.
Yeah, theshortboxjacks@gmail.com, or you could leave us a voicemail. We've got a Google Voice number, 904-580.
Yo, do that instead, because we don't get enough people. We do not get enough people leaving voicemails. Just don't, make it too long.
Yeah, 904-580-4095, or you can go on speakpipe.com/theshortbox, and you record a short message for us on your laptop with a nice mic if you want. So once again, thank you to everyone. The Shortbox 7, as I'm going to dub them this episode, Luna, Corey, Matt, Cozy, Tim, Josh, and Herschel for those emails. Thank you guys so much.
Absolutely.
And with that out of the way, we're going to go ahead and jump into our last segment of the show, our champion season. Champion season, for those of you tuning in for the first time, is our last segment of the show. It's our opportunity to go around the table and highlight a few things within pop culture that has really resonated with us this week. So it could be a comic book, a movie, a TV series, a cartoon, just anything that we feel, hey, this is awesome and more people should be checking it out. Greg, I'm going to start off with you, man. What do you want to champion today?
So I believe you had him on your couple episodes ago. Isaac Fox has a new Kickstarter out with Primici.
Yeah.
So Eric Chen is doing a Akira homage cover.
Oh, that's a dope
saw it.
cover.
It looks cool.
Yeah, I saw it on the Kickstarter, yeah.
And so Eric's one of the guys that kind of works with all the other Art Germ guys and stuff like that.
Oh,
so,
rad.
Support Isaac, but also support Eric. I ordered like the $120 remarked tier to. I'm excited for that. I love the Akira homages and stuff. So if you're into art, space westerns, anything like that, if you liked the episode Isaac was on, definitely check out that Kickstarter. There's like 14 days left to go or something like that.
Yeah. So we had Isaac on when I was doing like a convention episode, but I think what you're referring to is I think 2 episodes ago he left a voicemail talking about his Kickstarter, and that was really good. Did you have anything else to champion?
Become a Patreon for Shortbox.
I did not.
Man, this guy's good. That boy good.
Thank you. Well, let me, if you don't mind me indulging, what is your favorite part about being a patron?
Definitely the mixtape. I love getting the mixtape.
You're the first person that said that, and it warms my heart because I love putting them things together.
And I have to admit, because I don't actually listen to the podcast on Patreon, I just get it through my iTunes feed and I listen there. And so, listening to the bonus episode, I'm like, crap, I need to go to Patreon now so I can listen to the other bonus episodes. And just helping you out, man. I love helping you out.
Thanks, man. You know, I got to put food in the fridge. I mean, these lights is expensive.
This beer is hard to drink without me being here.
Thank you, Greg. Your patronage is appreciated. Corey, what do you want to champion today?
Kind of stay in the same vein. You know, he's talking about Eric Chen, our newest artist with Art Germ Collectibles. Her name is Lyrics, Leirix. She's pretty well new to comics. She's done a couple of things for Mount Olympus Comics, and she's got an upcoming cover that I can't tell you about yet. But we got her working on a couple other things that we're trying to push her and get her into mainstream comics. She is very, very much an anime style, so a very good bridge and crossover for those people that read manga that kind of want to come in and collect the art of comics or just need an excuse to get over there. More so with the Asian style than Art Germ, Derek, and Kunka and Ejikuri. The other thing I want to champion is Michael Keaton is fucking Batman.
Yes.
Michael fucking Keaton is Batman again. I feel like I'm 5 again. Dude, I am so stoked for that. I have been championing this for the longest time. Wanted to see Michael Keaton and then, Terry McGinnis in a Batman movie. Damn. So bad, dude.
Yeah. And
half my wish is true. So just waiting on the other half.
Nah, that's a good champion. See, what do you want to champion today?
Just got me hyped, man.
I know.
So we were talking about Neil Adams earlier, namely me throwing a forest's worth of shade. But that said, I just bought not like Marvel needs any help hawking their wares, but I just bought the Roy Thomas Neil Adams X-Men run hardcover, and it is nice. It's beautifully done. It is a large sort of print, and it's got some of the most Cheech and Chongiest moments of X-Men you will ever see. It's so bizarre, so abstract, and at the end, as usual, like with these hardcovers, you'll find they've got like hey, here are some of the sketches, that went into it, or here are some of the covers. There's that in spades, along with some like really nice splash pages that helped to promote the run. So all in all, it's great. Highly recommended if you are a Marvelite. Worth having in your collection. The next thing I'm going to champion is Star Wars Splinter of the Mind's Eye, written by I think Alan Dean Foster. And it's funny. Friend of the show and friend in real life, Lars, let me borrow that book. Buddy, I still got it. It's in great condition. He let me borrow the book a long time ago in a galaxy far, far away. Couldn't help it. And I bought my own copy of it just because it's so good. So essentially, if you guys haven't heard of it, when Star Wars first came out in 1977, nobody knew if it was going to get a sequel. So Alan Dean Foster essentially wrote the sequel to Star Wars before Empire came out. So it's really interesting to kind of put yourself in that headspace where it's like, it's 1978 and Lucas hasn't begun writing a script for Empire yet. And meanwhile, this book is out where you get to see the further adventures of a small band of rebels struggling to restore freedom to the galaxy with Leia and Luke and all your favorites. And Darth Vader shows up, and it's the first mention of a Kyber crystal if you are a Star Wars fan. And just keeping on with that entire Star Wars kick that I've been on, I started reading the Jason Aaron Star Wars run. A long time ago, Adam Wallach told me it was delicious, and I read the first 2 books, and I agree with him, but life happened, and I just couldn't finish it. Now that I have the Marvel Unlimited app, I have been really diving deep into his catalog of work, and for me, no disrespect, but the art, I think, is by Cassidy. Leaves a bit to be desired.
Agreed.
But it changes, and Stuart Immonen jumps on, and you're just kind of like, it's just completely spoiled for like issues, and it's great to read. It's real fun. Reminds me of the, Archie Goodwin, Al Williamson Star Wars stuff they did for the funnies back in the day. So if you're an old guy like me and you like that shit, this new Jason Aaron run feels a lot like the old school Star Wars funnies from like the early 80s that I definitely didn't read when I was younger. So
somewhere there is a Warren and Lars smiling.
I hope so.
That you're speaking so positively.
Yeah. And by the way, if Lars is listening, hopefully he still is, I still have your book and I will return it as soon as this epic plague goes away.
I do want to make a comment about your first champion, the X-Men by Roy Thomas and Neil Adams. I have told, so when C walked in, he had the book. I was like, I see this book all the time at the comic shop. I just have never picked it up. It is a gorgeous book. Oversized. So, I mean, you get like, a little bit more of the art and the promo stuff in the back.
It's cool, right?
I love seeing like comic promo collected in a collected edition.
The dated stuff.
Yeah, because it's like, well, there's no other way for me to see this. I mean, unless like I was around the time that they were promoting me too. This. But it's really cool to think about like some of the exclusive art that is out there based on like comic promotion. Like we were talking about John Byrne a couple weeks ago, but I had just came across like this John Byrne promo art that he did for his Superman run. And I was like, man, that is, once again, like the ties between hip hop and comic to me is just, there's so many examples. One being like street promo for like, this new John Byrne Superman story's coming out. I love shit like that.
Yeah, it's that New York mentality, man.
Yeah. My 2 champions, I got 2 quick ones. One's a comic book.
Thank you for listening to Shortbox, everybody.
Subscribe at shortboxjacks.com. My first champion is Doomsday Clock. For most of you know by now.
Is Gary Frank?
Yeah, Gary Frank. Written by Jeff Johns. Colors by Brad Anderson. So this is the series that concludes the story established in New 52 and DC Rebirth. Depending on who you ask, it's a direct sequel to the graphic novel Watchmen by Alan Moore, but Jeff Johns will never claim that. For him, it's
Alan Moore sure as shit won't claim that either.
Well, Dan Didio had promoted it as the sequel, but I think it was just more so for
it'll be a cold die in hell when I say it.
Dude, it introduces the stories, the Watchmen characters into the DC universe alongside some original characters. In my humble opinion, it is Jeff Johns' love letter to Alan Moore and Watchmen without trying to ape Watchmen. I think he could have easily fallen into that, but I think he still maintains his unique voice. But more so, it's also a love letter to DC Comics and all its rich history in regards to like the multiverse and how campy that was when maybe it first started. But he's able to kind of piece along so much gems from the DC history, like from the beginning, like the very early days.
Ladies and gentlemen, we need to call the hospital. Broder Milligan has contracted COVID-19. Dude. He is saying something positive about DC.
That's funny.
Oh my God.
It's because I'm here.
I'm like, please don't break my shit. But overall, too, it's a great Superman story. Like, dude, I am a sucker for really like Superman stories that touch on why Superman is just fucking important,
Yeah.
And I think Jeff Johns nails it. I think Drew had said, Jeff Johns is really good at rebirthing characters. Green Lantern Rebirth, Flash.
Yeah.
I had to disagree with him on the Flash Rebirth when I'm still not a fan of that.
It's okay. It's okay.
Otherwise, just story-wise, it was
Doomsday Clock. and especially being able to read it in full now, not having to wait, month to month or whatever happened. I mean, Greg was the one that reminded me. This story started in November 2017, ended in December 2019. And I mean, I was collecting it issue by issue, but by issue 3 and 4, that's when it started. The schedule became bi-monthly, and then they took a break, and then, holdups, blah, blah, blah. Well, now you can read it in full, and it's fantastic. It's fun. It's gritty as fuck. Gary Frank absolutely brings his A+ game to the art. The colors are great. To me, it feels like a superhero noir story that pays respects to Watchmen, but it's fresh, it's relevant, it takes place in DC's main continuity. Not that fucking matters, but it's great, man. It's fantastic. So Doomsday Clock, I recommend it. 12 issues. You don't really need to know much of the prior stuff, but if you've read Watchmen, then you can see why they would promote it as the quote unquote direct sequel. And the last thing I'll champion, kind of random, but fuck it, Ludacris. I have been.
What? Oh my God, he's sick for real.
Look, I have been in the last week just replaying a bunch of like Ludacris stuff, and it's made me realize just how fucking good he is at just rapping. Like, I don't think he gets enough props because he had such a seamless crossover, and I don't think we also give him enough props for how successful he's been in the crossover.
Ladies and gentlemen, this is not a joke. Please call the hospital.
Well, and here's my thing. One, he steals a spotlight on any cameo or features he's on. And if you need an example, I mean, look at Nas's Made You Look remix. He absolutely steals the show. It is a classic. To me, it is a classic verse. It is one of the best hip-hop verses ever, and probably the best cameo verse ever. He's literally rubbed shoulders with a lot of it, like hip-hop icons and his contemporaries. I mean, he's got a song with Jay-Z.
He's short.
He's done songs with everyone, usually, like I said, steals the show. And he's always stayed true to his character. He's never been someone that he's not. He's never tried to like ride a trend. He's just a funny dude who likes to have fun in hip hop, but happens to be really fucking talented when it comes to rapping. He's got charisma. I think his music videos are some of the best.
God damn, you're old.
Yeah. And if you,
he's a swell guy.
I mean, he's. And the album in particular that I was listening to was Theater of the Mind, which is his 7th studio album. I remember buying that when it came out. I went to Target to go buy it. Great album. It's got like a bunch of features, and he shows up and improves, and he's got great production. So Ludacris.
Look at you, man. You fucking grew up fast.
I know. I was like,
look at you. You're like, you're going to be an old man inside of a freaking home like, you put on my Ludacris records. And some young person will be like, yo, shut up, you old man.
It just made me realize that every Ludacris album I have listened to in some way and really enjoyed it. I just don't ever lean in on like, damn, I've really enjoyed it. My earliest critique of Ludacris was always, he enunciates better than most. Like, if you notice something about Ludacris, all of his raps, you can hear every word. It's very easy to follow along and repeat because
you're like an old man describing why you like this particular brand of rap. It's tripping. It's so messy with me right now.
No, but this people like, though. Hopefully you should do this every week. Like
yesterday, Botter was like, sorry, go ahead.
Like this should be a weekly thing now. Like next week, throw out Big Pun or something like that. Just keep on going with those.
He's gonna be like, you know who I like? That David Bowie character is really, he's a swell young man.
Like I said, I just don't think when it comes to hip-hop circles and hip-hop heads like me that really kind of know the ins and outs, I don't hear Ludacris brought up enough because he made that jump over to mainstream and movies and things. And he's a goofball. But you know what? He's fucking good, man. I can go on.
I love it. I love it. You're like, I'm not listening to fucking little shoelace talking about jizzing in girls' hairs and shits.
I think the only other thing I got to say is I think the best comparison to Ludacris was he is the South's Redman. Like when Redman came on the scene and with him and Meth, and they were just really goofy.
Hey,
pump the brakes, son.
Reginald.
Sorry,
is like the best MC.
You're right. No, well, I mean, I won't say anything, but yeah, Ludacris is my champion, and that's what I've got.
That's awesome.
Thank you, Steve.
Damn, you've been talking about it so much. I'm just like, maybe I need to read.
I'm telling you, it is. I mean, from Southern Hospitality to Chicken and Beer, Red Light District.
His voice doesn't match his body, which cracks me up.
It doesn't.
Every time I hear him.
Shortbox Nation, another long episode for you guys, as Tim Stacy would say.
Another gem, another Corona gem. That when you're not doing anything, we got the cure.
Yeah, that is the end of our show. Greg, Corey, I want to say thank you guys so much for coming on. for what you guys are doing with Conline.
Yep.
If you want to use this time to plug,
Once more, plug away.
Let us know where people can tune in, man.
Thanks for having us. Comic Conline, July 9th through the 12th. You can find it on the... go to the Facebook page or the website, and then those links to the YouTube, and then we'll have the link to the Twitch there. And just like 22 artists.
Yeah, man, it's a big deal. Corey, anything? Last words from you?
Nah, I mean, Greg pretty well covered it. Just, our main streaming is, facebook.com/corner certified. That's, not just the Comic Conline, but we do weekly interviews every Monday with creators. This week we have Anna Joe, who's another creator that Greg and I help out as often as we can. Just kind of became a friend of ours through, convention travels and through the Collector's Corner, which I know that gets a little confusing there. Collector's Corner, Creator's Corner. I'm a part of both of them. Just Collector's Corner is just for fans. Creator's Corner is something that we do for, just everything we can to try and add to the comic industry in every way but drawing and writing.
Word. Yes. Thank you, guys.
So older videos on there too. So like we had Shane Davis, if you want to see. The cat for the model of Dexstar for the Red Lanterns.
Huh.
It's in the video. He has his cat. He shows everything.
I didn't know Shane Davis created the cat.
Yeah.
He created.
Atrocitus is the only Red Lantern that he did not create.
Damn. That is cool.
In just a splash page, they told him to create something, so he sat there and he did. He created like Dexstar. He did
Bleeze.
Bleeze.
Ooh. Damn, you're bringing me back to prime Jeff Johns Green Lantern days, man. That was my shit.
I had to go out and buy some of that issue just to send it because we have a signing with him as well. And
that's cool.
That was one of the cool things which I didn't mention is this time we had a bunch of creators offer to sign for free. Doug Mankey signed for free. Brian Polito signed for free. Anna Joe signed for free.
Damn, that's cool.
Shane Davis signed for free.
Yeah, Shane Davis is really cool dude.
They all just agreed to sign for free because they believe in what we are doing with this, and that is... that's pretty cool. That's cool. One of those aha moments in your career.
Well, I'm sure our listeners will be believers after they attend their first Comic Conline, July 9th through the 12th. Yep. See, any closing remarks, last things you want to say?
Nothing better than what you just said, man.
All right, well, dope. That's the end of our show, Shortbox Nation. Thank you for hanging out and sharing your most valuable commodity, which is your time. It is appreciated.
Indeed.
I want to go ahead and just say, if you feel inclined to directly support the creation of more episodes and help us keep the lights on here at Shortbox Studios, consider becoming a Shortbox patron. We'll reward you with bonus episods. We got interviews, commercial-free episodes, as well as exclusive merch and gifts. Get them, Diddy. Thank you. That's my puff daddy, right?
Yeah.
Like I said, check out what we have to offer on our membership site, patreon.com.
Check it out, bitch.
/the and for our current patrons listening to this episode early, because
continue to give us your fucking money.
Yes, continue. Since you guys get these episodes early, we'll see you Tuesday at the live show.
Yeah, man.
And for the rest of the Shortbox Station,
yeah, man.
We'll be taking a break next week, but we'll try to share the audio from our live show. I'll see how that goes. But regardless, we'll have a new episode for all of you on June 18th, so don't be a stranger. Hit that subscribe button to be notified when we drop something new. With all that being said, listeners,
can't wait to see you.
Stay safe, stay healthy, take care of yourselves, take care of each other. Check out Comic Conline July 9th through the 12th, and in the meantime, continue to make mine and yours Shortbox.
Hey, yo, what happened to peace?
Stay geeky.
Oh, no!
No! Perfect.
Yo, what happened to peace? Peace.